talk about it.
Say you don't like the life I live.
Girl, let's talk about it.
Alright, I'm always on the grind.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Always got money on my mind.
Girl, let's talk about it.
Say you don't like this life of mine.
Wanna talk about it.
Yeah, I'm always on the grind.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, I gotta shine.
Let's talk about it.
Always got money on my
Alright,
mind.
girl, let's talk about it.
Say you don't like this life of mine.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, I'm always on the grind.
Girl, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I gotta shine.
Let's talk about it.
Always got money on my
Right,
mind.
girl, let's talk about it.
One, two, what's up, world? What we got? See, I'm having a little technical things there. All right, there we go. God, buddy. Happy solar return. Tupac Shakur. Tupac gang. God, body. King Show. Tap in, guys. Square business. Man, I'm about I got something. Yeah, we got a magnificent outing popping today. Juneteenth weekend, man. We about to all the way there. Yeah, it's right there. It's right there, man. Hit that link, pop up today, man. We dealing with the raw truth. Only God can judge me. Dealing with accountability and free will. Dealing with accountability and free will, man. It's been a groundbreaking week, to say the least. Groundbreaking. Hey, it's crazy times we are in out here today's world, but we in great times. The earth is going to a different vibration, a different magnitude, and with these changes, what has happened is that you can have a conversation nowadays, and the conversation that y'all are having between these two people, you won't be able to understand what's happening. And there's because the art of communication, dealing with accountability. Things are happening nowadays, and nobody wants to be honest and real about what is happening. Case in point, the people at the top of the spectrum in the world right now, things are being revealed, things about what happened in people's lives prior. Now they see their young offspring operating in that same capacity that they were operating in. You see all of these return factors happening over and over again and again. They're repeating the generational peace, God, body, T Will, A CZ. What's going down, God? What's popping? Yeah, man, but you see all these repeat things happening. There's a feeling inside people to want to change, but within that feeling of wanting to change, there is the habits of being the same. Just recently, I see a lot of people and their parents. I don't want to offend, and let me make this known. I've had conversations this week, even within my families, as to where things I might bring to a podcast or I might talk about, it's sent to offend someone close to you. I would never drop or do a podcast or anything of that nature to offend any person around me. There are things that we all go through in life that I think if we're honest with each other, we all could learn from. We could all learn from somebody having a little truth about their life and blessing people and putting that truth out there in their life and saying, hey, I went through this, or I thought like this. And when you see that you think a certain way, or that you perceive something a certain way, the moment you can communicate that with other people, you can start coming up with a lot of solutions out here in the world. You can come with a lot of solutions. So instead of us coming with these solutions, a lot of what you see is problems. And then when you bring the problem to the person, hey, this happened, they're offended because they don't want to accept accountability. Accountability. How can you judge one when you don't want to judge yourself? Or you put something out there, and then when somebody brings that same energy back to you, you can point the finger, but you can't deal with anything that you actually go through or do. So, I think this is huge, that we can all learn from each other's life. So there's a lot of time I want to bring insight from my life because I have many ha-ha moments. I have so many ha moments that I feel like there's billions of people thinking exactly what I'm thinking at that time that they can learn from. Something that can really bring something, like I'm talking about huge light to these people's life. But there's not enough people that want to be and King Show, bro. I know you ain't offended, but yeah, man, they could bring light to each other's life. So it's like I have no problem. Some people around me think I'm too transparent because I want to come on podcasts and talk about everything that could help somebody. Like I want to bring that type of energy where everything I touch actually helps. You know, because we're in a world where definitely our culture is looked at like everything we touch is to destroy. It's to destroy. So, hey, I say happy birthday to the late great Tupac Shakur. What we have in store coming up here this week, and in all the given moments next to here, I'm telling you, it's gonna be groundbreaking. Because, yeah, man, sometimes you get to that point where many sit back, watch. Some people say, some people just talk about it. Some people do actions. You might hear one thing from me. You know, somebody said that, hey, man, you say I'll be there in 10 minutes to take you 2 hours, but you come through. All right. So end of the day, what I'm saying is it's peace, goddess, peace to the goddess, Kiana, Fergie, peace to the goddess. But yeah, I'm saying it is that time. We got to be accountable for each other. We gotta be accountable. So if that means opening up something that's happened in your life prior to then and being able to talk about it in a way, when they say the truth sets you free, man, the truth gives you your wings for real. For real, for real. Like if you're able to deal with what you've been through and process that to where you are currently presently at and be comfortable where you're at, man, you can grow and think of amazing places. But if you let the past weigh you down, if you steady looking in your rear view, yeah, you're not gonna see that great light this meant there for you. So like I say, man, only God can judge me. We talking about dealing with accountability and giving people free will. Like everybody has free will to do or say what they feel like they can do or say. That is their free will. Now, what comes after that, you know, is still their free will. So, you know, God body, Kiana Taylor, what's up, Goddess Pop? Tap in, definitely. But I say, that's the crazy thing. Like, we all have free will, so we can think on an aspect as to communicate with each other. We can communicate, but while we're communicating, we could feel like something is right or wrong, but the only thing we can do is express how we feel or express what we know. Now, just because a person doesn't, for say, agree with what you feel, doesn't mean that a person doesn't hear you or doesn't mean that a person is not there with you. So I think, you know, it's all about us getting back together, building, and actually be able to learn from each other. Like there are so many great things that are out here in this world, this here for us to go get, and it's right there in our face. We just got to see it. But we make all the reasons not to instead of looking for the reasons to do. And for the ones that are people that are attempting or trying to do, there is a struggle. Like I say, there has been a consistent battle, like I say, to say the very least. The very least, the very least. And I mean, it's all over, you know, children's graduations. Man, if y'all could see the amount of separation that's just seen out there in this world. And I think if we start holding each other accountable, but realizing you have to give a person free will because their free will is their learning. Like my free will is my learning. Now, some things do happen where people think that certain things have to be this person's way, or I'm getting my way, or this person's getting their way. What does hearing you mean exactly? A person will say they hear you, but will continue the same behavior. Um, Not quite sure. I wish we could pull you up here. A person could say they're not hearing you, but continue the same behavior. I mean, so what behavior, what would we be talking about? Like, so if a person says a person hears a person, but they continue the same behavior, there's a lot of things that will go into that. Like, you can't say free will for a person and then say that a person continue. Like, are we talking about? Say, are we talking about a man that continues to cheat on his wife, on his spouse, or what they would call cheating. Say a man is a promiscuous, and a man says, "Okay, I'm not going to do that," but he continues the same behavior. But he's saying is that like there's a lot of different things there when when you get to talking about behavior. But I say dealing with accountable. If a person is doing something unjust or something wrong, them being accountable for that behavior. If a person says something, like I say, a person can have an opinion and a person doesn't have to agree with it. But yes, there's a lot of there's a lot of that. Shout out to AC, shout out to Keanu Taylor. Good comment there. ACZ says they haven't processed their reaction yet, which their answers are not fitting to their actions because they haven't grown to understand the statement, which because they haven't grown to understand the statements, which has to deal with the correction of something within them. I mean, I think that a lot of time that is a great point. I wanted to get to that too. A lot of times people will actually, this is a huge thing, Well, what do we call this? A person will put, and I've noticed this a lot, their energy, like a transferring of energy, they'll put it off and say that it's something that you're doing. So instead of being accountable, it's easier to say it's because of this reason or because of that reason, instead of just saying or dealing with the situation as it is. Like, I say these conversations can get very confusing, as to say the least. So I would love to get a panel up here to actually talk about this, because I say these are groundbreaking conversations that can actually change people's lives. If we just open our minds up, there's so many people who think exactly how we're thinking at the time that we're thinking. There's so many people going through the exact same things that people are going through on a day-to-day basis. But the reason why homelessness exists, starvation, lack of resources being shared amongst people, is because people are not able to communicate. People are not able to talk about things that they feel or think the things that they think, because they think the next person is belittling them, or the next person is not listening to them or trying to silence them, but they'll end up silencing themselves because they really don't want to get out and deal with the actual issue. Like, so something else has become a reason, or it's going to become the issue. When we don't deal with this, but we have free will. I was having a conversation yesterday where somebody kept saying some of the things that I was saying was hypocritical. And I'm thinking like, okay, I'm trying to figure out how what I'm saying is hypocritical when it's all on point. So the more we have these conversations, you realize that the person who has everything to, I'm not saying hide, because it makes it seem like you're exposing the conversations that I really would want to have. It would make it seem like it's exposing, because people don't want to deal with insecurities. People don't want to deal with if they've been through something in their life they've been traumatized by. They don't really want to talk about it or actually deal with it. It's a difficult thing to deal with. I have damn sure dealt with more than enough myself, to say the least. But I mean, at the end of the day, we all have free will. I look to help as many out there in this world that I possibly could ever, and intend to do more, very much more. So hey, shout out to everybody out there, man. Hold on, we got another. So if you're having a conversation and say you hear them, what does that mean? All right, so if you're having a conversation, you're listening. You're listening. A conversation is exactly that. So listening means to list everything that they're saying. You're listening. You're listing everything they're saying. So if I list what a person says and then I respond, listen, then respond. So if I'm listening, I'm taking in and making note of everything that they're saying. Now, and then I respond to it. That's a conversation. But I think sometimes when people say when you listen, they want you to listen and be able to feel the pain of everything that they've been through, or the reason that they have come to the terms they have come to that has their reasoning to where they say listen. Because if a listen means just to list down what a person's saying and then respond, why does a person say when I listen to me, they want you to feel, they want you to basically, if you don't agree, or if you come to a consensus where it says, okay, I've heard you out, but I don't agree that this is what I did, or this is how this action, and I can't say how you perceive it. How a person perceives something is totally different. But if I'm listening to that person express their feelings, and I'm going to take that in and then respond. But yeah, I'm definitely going to you deal with people with care. You don't have to deal with people in a bad way to where it makes it difficult to communicate at all. But I just say, you know, yeah, peace, man. Peace to everybody that popped up. I was just gonna make this a little short something on to jump on here and talk, man. Shout out, happy solar return. Oh my gosh, what happened there? That doesn't sound right, buddy. Oh my goodness, what happened there? God. Hey, well, shout out to yeah, happy solar return, late great Tupac Shakur. I'm out there, man. One love.